So we're going to stick with clinical trials and move on to data and integrity and risk management and all that stuff. So with us, we have Artem Andrianov from Cyntegrity. Artem set up Cyntegrity to focus on data collection and data management, and he's going to demonstrate how his system can help identify risks early and improve the data process. Thanks, Artem.
Thank you, Tim. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear passengers, Cyntegrity welcomes you in a flight beyond the pill, and we hope that this flight will be pleasant and comfortable for you. But would you buy a ticket if you knew that 8 of 10 clinical trials land with a dramatic delay, and 5 out of 10 crashes? Crashes like a pill taxiferine in USA, which can show an oncology cell in X-ray, or crashes like a Diovan from Novartis, just because of the one data manipulation in Japan. But now we are safe. Just take a look on the cockpit I have. As a pilot of a clinical trial, I log in to this portal every Monday morning, and I can observe data quality based on certain quality indicators. I can see all the risks that are involved in the clinical trials, like site performance, fraudulent behavior, sloppiness, data quality, patient safety. Let's take a look in the site performance. There are various risk indicators connected with the site performance, which are pre-selected before. One of the risk indicators, anomalies in unscheduled visits. Let's check what is happening here. We can see that there are some problems with Norway, and there are some issues in China. Let's take a look on China. I can observe all the centers from the clinical trial ranged from low risk to high risk. The size of the bubble is connected with the amount of data they provided, so I can immediately understand what impact this site has on my clinical trial. I can see the historical risk spread. Let's check what is happening with this site, because it seems to be pretty high risky. I can drill down to each of the sites and can see number of performance indicators, how many patients are involved, how many patients have left, and if some problems with informed consent or whatever happens. I can observe all the risk indicators. From the one glance, I can see if the issue is of a random nature or of a systematic nature. But if the issue happens, it's better to mitigate it. Let's check. So this site has broken some thresholds which we established before. That's why a ticket was created. A ticket means the issue that we should act on. We are integrated with whole our team in one efficient nervous system. We can create a root cause analysis, why this issue happened, and attach a mitigation plan. But what is mitigation plan without risk indicators? We can pre-select the risk indicators in order to see that our actions really produce effect. We would like to thank everybody for joining us today, flying beyond the pill, above the pill, and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think anything which helps create more efficiency or speed up the process of clinical trials is a great thing. They're hugely expensive and a critical part of the drug development life cycle, obviously. My question to you is, this actually looks fairly complicated to use. I mean, who are your Is it pharma companies, CROs you're talking to with this to use this? And do you provide training and the rest of it to teach them how to use it?
First of all, training is obligatory by GCP. We do provide training, of course. This is a cockpit, so it should be easy to understand from the first glance, but it becomes easy when you take more activity on that. So we speak with pharma, we speak with CROs, just because risk-based monitoring and vendor oversight will be obligatory by regulatory starting from the end of this year. So both actors or both players of the industry are really interested in all the solutions that appear. We are already 3 years on the market. We've done 1 clinical trial completely, and right now 1 clinical trial is in the process, and we are negotiating or in the signature process with a client who's planning to run 8 clinical trials with this platform.
Great. Artem, I think you're making quite a few of us nervous talking about planes not arriving. Maybe I like the nervous system analogy better. But one of the things I think you're suggesting is that this would help detect fraud in clinical trials. How common is fraud in clinical trial?
Very good question. Actually, it's much more common as we think. According to the literature, there's 1–2% of the whole data in clinical trial is produced by fraudulent behavior. According to our discussions with Boehringer Ingelheim, Novartis, and so on, it's more than 10%. But the problem is you cannot prove that. So 1–2% from the literature is actually legally proven fraud. 10% is that what pharma has to live with.
So this could not only have an impact on the speed of clinical trial, but also on the quality of the data.
Absolutely. So the quality of the data, the integrity of the data, patient safety. So all these are the benefits and advantages of using of this platform. And we've done a simultaneous, a twin clinical trial when we were using this platform and we were able to show that 18% of cost for monitoring could be saved. And if you think that monitoring is the largest largest cost driver of a clinical trial, so it's approximately 1/4, 1/3 of all whole costs. So 18% is quite a big sum.
I think the CIO for Bayer is here. Is that right? What do you think of this?
Down the front, Johannes. he's ignoring us. Johannes, you had a question for Johannes?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were going to ask some of the pharma people if they had questions for any of the demos. Just wondered if anyone here has a question, maybe about the clinical trial process or Jesus or.
Is there a system that works like this already?
Yeah.
Maybe come and use the microphone. Thanks.
Thanks for your presentation. We were talking already before, like an hour ago, and as a matter of fact, I consider this very interesting. I'm going to bring him together with our phase 3, phase 4 clinical trial people. You said it before, John. Clinical trials are extremely important for us. This is one of the main bottlenecks in the R&D process of the pharmaceutical industry. So it's thank you very much. And also the previous presentation, this MedBravo, I also think is very, very interesting for efficient recruiting of patients for clinical trials. Very, very good.
Fantastic. Thanks for that feedback. Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Artem.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Great.